Oftentimes, co-stars describe each other as family. But other times, their relationships are actually quite rocky. Here are some co-stars who didn't get along behind the scenes. Jennifer Aniston and Jay Moore. Aniston was reportedly not thrilled when actor Jay Moore beat out her then-boyfriend Tate Donovan to beat her on-screen love interest in the movie Picture Perfect 1997. Moore says instead of taking her anger out on the studio, Aniston took it out on him instead. In an interview with Elle from 2010, he explained how it was one of the worst filming experiences of his life, being on the set of a movie where the leading woman was unhappy with my presence and made it clear from day one. He continued, I hadn't done that many movies. And even though they screen tested some pretty famous guys, I somehow snaked into the leading role. The actress said, no way. You've got to be kidding me, loudly. Between takes, 2 other actors on set, I would literally go to my mom's house and cry. Harrison Ford and Sean Young. On the set of Ridley Scott's 1980 sci-fi classic, Blade Runner, Harrison Ford and Sean Young played lovers in a futuristic Los Angeles. However, when the cameras stopped rolling, the two reportedly couldn't stand each other. It got so bad that the film crew nicknamed their love scene the hate scene. Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando. When filming the romantic comedy A Countess from Hong Kong, Loren detailed in her memoir, Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, My Life, an uncomfortable day on set when her co-star groped her. All of a sudden, he put his hands on me. I turned in all tranquility and blew in his face, like a cat stroked the wrong way, and said, don't you ever dare to do that again. Never again, she continued, as I pulverized him with my eyes. He seemed small, defenseless, almost a victim of his own notoriety. He never did it again. But it was very difficult working with him after that. Tony Curtis and Marilyn Monroe. You would think when asked what it was like to kiss your co-star, you would say something nice. But Tony Curtis didn't go that route. The actor said of his Some Like It Hot co-star, Marilyn Monroe, it was like kissing Hitler. Before filming the famous movie, the pair had actually dated in real life. But the feelings had changed by the time they started shooting. She'd gone funny, her mind was all over the place, he said. He then spoke about the scene, in which the couple kisses on a yacht pictured here, saying, it was awful. She nearly choked me to death by deliberately sticking her tongue down my throat into my windpipe. Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment. The on-screen best friends found it hard to keep up those feelings off-screen. In her memoir, Miles to Go, Miley Cyrus shared that she and Emily Osment didn't get along off-screen. The show felt real to me, and I wanted my relationship with Lily to feel real too. I know it didn't have to. Show business is show business. But I was disappointed, she wrote. There were times when I didn't think we could ever be friends. We just couldn't figure out how to get along. The co-stars ended up working out their feelings, and are friends today. They recently had a reunion over Instagram to celebrate 10 years of Hannah Montana. Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep in the set of Kramer vs. Kramer. Meryl Streep said Dustin Hoffman wasn't easy to work alongside. Some incidents include the time when Streep got approved to make some changes to a scene by writer-director Robert Benton. When Hoffman saw the changes, he angrily shouted. Per The Telegraph, Meryl, why don't you stop carrying the flag for feminism and just act the scene? Streep commented on the film's scene of spousal abuse to the New York Times and stated how her co-star went overboard. Then, of course, there was the scene when Hoffman literally slapped his co-star. This was my first movie, and it was my first take in my first movie, and he just slapped me, she said. And you see it in the movie. It was overstepping. Years later, while playing a game of Marry, Shag, Kill on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, Streep chose to kill Hoffman without question. Nina Dobrev and Paul Wesley. During their first 5 months of filming, Dobrev revealed on the Directionally Challenged podcast that her and Wesley couldn't stand each other. I respected Paul Wesley. I didn't like Paul Wesley, she said on the show. But don't worry, the blood-sucking co-stars ended up working things out and are friends today. But, of everyone from the Vampire Diaries cast, I think I probably see him the most and hang out with him the most. We are probably the closest, she said on the podcast. We hang out a lot. We're really good friends. And I love his wife. It's so funny how time changes everything. Because I never thought that he would be one of my best friends. Joan Collins and John Forsythe. On Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, Collins shared the soap opera co-stars didn't talk for an entire season. At the People's Choice Awards, we won as a whole company. And we were told that when we were being presented with the award, it was going to be given to John, she said on the late-night talk show. However, they gave it to me. He didn't like that. I said, "Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to give it to our fearless leader," and he said, "She's said enough," and that was it. And it was very unpleasant, I have to say. It wasn't nice. Debbie Reynolds and Gene Kelly's famous musical, Singin' in the Rain, captured hearts, but it wasn't exactly a joy to make for some of its actors. In Reynolds' memoir, Unsinkable, she recalled her time on set with Kelly, writing, "He came to rehearsals and criticized everything I did and never gave me a word of encouragement." She also detailed what it was like when their characters kissed. In her memoir she said, "Gene took me tightly in his arms and shoved his tongue down my throat. Ew, what was that?" I screeched, breaking free of his grasp and spitting. I ran around frantic, yelling for some Coca-Cola to cleanse my mouth. It was the early 1950s, and I was an innocent kid who had never been French kissed. It felt like an assault. I was stunned that this 39-year-old man would do this to me. Selma Blair and Charlie Sheen. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Blair voiced her concerns about Sheen's work ethic while filming 2 episodes a week. That often found him with more than 40 pages of dialogue per script. Sheen then fired Blair by sending her a nasty text, in which he called her a C*** and threatened to leave the show if she returned to set. She left the show. In 2017, during a segment on Watch What Happens Live, he was asked to rank some previous co-stars from favorite to least favorite to work with. He commented on his former co-star Blair and his former 2.5 Men co-star Jenny McCarthy, saying, "I'd like to mash those 2 together and then kick them to the curb. They deserve each other." Thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and like video.